Go.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all glory and praise to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Rakakwadash.
Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and those of great millstone honors and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing his word, truth, and sincerity. This is GMS Salt Bay coming back with another video. And we're just going to go into, basically, I kind of did a video on this topic earlier. I kind of did it quick because I was at the job. Now that I'm off the job, I can pretty much have, collect my thoughts and I have brothers with me, so it, kind of delve in a little more into what I was trying to come across in my video. And basically, and being in this truth, just in general, just how you walking in this thing, just because you come into the truth, you come into your home, so to speak, in the spirit, the Lord starts supping with you, the Lord start revealing things unto you, as far as, your walking, your path in this thing. That don't mean you get beside yourself and you forget the humble beginnings, don't forget that you didn't know anything, don't forget that that men taught you everything especially the breakdowns, the history, the the dark sayings in the scriptures, certain the Hebrew, Greek, things of that nature. Everything that you learned in this truth, there's an origin to it. There's a beginning, and as you grow in this truth, what I'm saying. You have to keep that keep those things in perspective. And just because you grow in the truth, that don't mean you stop seeking counsel, and that you don't need any, you don't need any advice, you don't need anything to come your way because you feel like you're at a certain point and nobody can tell you nothing. Now it depends on what the situation is, of course, but it's just in general, your attitude is supposed to be humble. So we're gonna go into the scriptures, and hopefully, this is edifying to the brothers out there. So you got that scripture out?
Yeah.
Let's start at 6.
This is Sirach 8 and 6. Dishonor not a man in his old age, for even some of us wax old.
Right, and that's the problem with the majority of our people in the world. Israel, Jake, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans, they disregard the old. They disregard the people that come before them. Which means they despise wisdom. And furthermore, to bring it into the truth, you have certain young individuals that come into this truth, and they're disobedient to their spiritual parents. They're disrespectful. They have a lack of respect, which means they have a lack of fear of the Lord, because the Lord sets certain men up, men that that's elders in this thing, men that have been established in the faith, in order to to lead other men, lead the nation, showing the nation how, leading by example, leading by good works, good patterns of works. And you have young men that come into this thing for whatever agenda they may have, whether it be for fame, money, or or strife, wherever it is, they come into this thing and they dishonor men that have been in this thing, that have been laboring this thing for years. See, when you come into this truth as a young man, the thing you're following suit. You're following men that's laying that's pillars in this truth. Men that have been out there laboring, you're following after their works. Like Apostle Paul said, be ye followers of me as I am of Yahushua. What did he mean by that? By doing the work, doing what Apostle Paul was doing, going out there teaching on a day-to-day basis, constantly, diligently. Go on.
So, bro, if you don't mind me saying real quick, bro, hey, because like you said in the beginning, you just basically just following suit. Mm-hmm. Hey, because the apostles through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai already, set everything up. There's already an order. There's already a foundation.
Right.
There's already a blueprint.
That's right.
We're all. It is this. The brotherhood, this true, but we're one body.
Yeah.
Well, you can't come in here and cause disorder. You can't cause disease in the body.
Right.
Then things gonna fall apart, man. There ain't no time for that. There's no space for that in this truth, man.
That's right.
That's
right.
Yeah, that was there. The brother wants to keep going.
Yeah, boy, read 8.
Okay. This Sirach 8 and 8. Despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with thy proverbs.
With their proverbs. See, it says, despise not the discourse of the wise. You're not supposed to despise that. You know what I'm saying? There's things that they may say that may be profitable for you to hear, because you may need to hear those things to in order for you to make corrections to certain things or how you walking.
Okay.
Or you may just need to hear those things and to be able to navigate through certain situations, to be able to have ammunition on how to deal with certain things, how to maneuver basically, because it's a lot of things that go on in this world, man. Especially when you out in your day to day, it's the possibilities of anything happening are endless. There's endless possibilities of things that can happen, and by being with men that have great knowledge, great wisdom, they're not going to be able to give you every single thing, but they're going to be able to give you a lot of things to be able to maneuver through certain things. And then, and of course, the Lord, as you grow, the Lord going to start revealing things unto you on how to move. But that doesn't mean you just totally disregard the men that come before you. Read that. Continue, bro.
I'm starting over.
You start from the top.
This Sirach 8 and 8. Despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with thy proverbs, for of them thou shalt learn instruction.
Right, because what are they doing? They're giving you instruction. When you go to a classroom, I don't give a damn what the class is. When you go to a classroom, the instructor, there's only one instructor. You ain't gonna go to a classroom and it's an instructor with 10 students up there talking with the instructor. No, it don't work like that. You the student. You gotta pay attention. You gotta you can ask the instructor questions, but you're not teaching them. You're not teaching the class. You're not teaching the course. That's why there's a teacher and there's a student. And the student has to be in what? Silence. The only one that should be talking is the instructor.
Yeah.
Go on.
Despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs, for of them thou shalt learn instruction, and how to serve great men with ease.
Right, and it says acquaint. You're supposed to acquaint yourself with their proverbs. Like when you read Proverbs, or you read Songs of Solomon, or you read Psalms, you read these things. That what is those books giving you? It's giving you instruction. They're giving you proverbs. Where one proverb where it says, "Labor not to be rich, for riches grow rings, they fly away." That's true. It's a true proverb. But that came from a wisdom of King Solomon. That came from having that wisdom to be able to have discernment, knowing right from wrong, knowing what's good for you and what's not good for you. Go on.
It say,
read the 9th
verse 9. Miss not the discourse of the elders, for they also learn of their fathers.
See, they learn of their fathers. Just like when the brother read in the 6th verse says, dishonor not a man in his old age, for even some of us shall wax old. It was a point when certain elders were young men, right? And they had to learn for the men that was above them. And guess what? Now they wax old. And now they're the elders. Now they the elders because they learned of their fathers. So they continue in that cycle. You know, even though they learned from their fathers, but then they went through their own experiences. Now they got, you know, now they got, they got the wisdom they got from their elders, and they got the wisdom they from their own experience.
Yeah.
So it's a lot they can give to you.
Con.
Go on.
Miss not the discourse of the elders, for they also learned of their fathers.
Yep.
And of them thou shalt learn understanding.
Hey, bro, real quick.
Hey,
you know how you say they have a lot to give you? That's what they have to give us, bro, understanding.
Yeah.
Because, the apostles, they got a lot of the understanding and the wisdom and the breakdowns from their elders.
Yep.
And then, through the Spirit as well, through their experiences and what Yahweh Shemel Shai gave them, they basically surpass the wisdom of their elders.
Yep.
And they've given, and they've, given that to us.
Yep.
Okay, hey, they're the ones that give us the breakdowns. They're the ones that go into the history, the secular history. All right, they're the ones that are showing us everything that we know. Yep. But you got some men that act like, all right, so he taught me everything, but he don't know shit all of a sudden.
Right.
Right. I didn't know who I was before this man told me. I didn't know the name of the Lord before this man told me. Right. I didn't know any of my history, what I was. I thought I was just some fucking Negro. But now all of a sudden these men don't know anything. These men are some old niggas, how some have said,
Right. Finish up that 9th verse, bro.
It says, miss not the discourse of the elders, for they also learned of their fathers, and of them thou shalt learn understanding, and to give answer as need required.
Right. So that's how you, like the brother was saying, the breakdowns in certain the history, the secular history. And you got guys that come into this thing and they get taught by these men, these men that the elders, great men that told them the understanding of these scriptures. And what do? They turn around and they backbite.
Yep.
They become traitors. They become heady, high-minded. Like what's that? 2 Timothy, I believe. You ain't gotta get it. I'm paraphrasing. That's what happens. They become high-minded.
Yep.
They forget, the beginnings. They forget that they didn't know shit. They forget they was niggas in the world. They didn't know a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Then when they come into this truth, they totally disregard the men, the spiritual parents. They totally disregard them.
Yo, bro, I got something for that real quick, bro. This 1 Timothy 5:1, it says, rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren.
Right. So you're not supposed to rebuke. It says rebuke not an elder. You're not supposed to be talking shit about your elders.
That's right.
Disrespecting them, calling them out their name. You know what I'm saying? That's wicked, man. And that show that's a lack of integrity. It's a lack of fear. You do not fear the Lord.
Yeah.
For you to talk against, for you to be an elder in Yahweh Shemel Shai, elder in this faith, I mean the Lord is dealing with that. To be an elder in this truth, I mean the Lord has to be dealing with you on a higher level, you know? Because a lot of dudes, they don't seem to realize that. That this thing ain't no fucking game. This ain't no joke. Man, hey bro, you had that? You still help? Was holding that one and no,
that one's you're done with that one.
Get that one in what's that? Corinthians.
Come on, bro. Let me
go ahead.
Go back to this. 1 Timothy 5:1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. So, bro, I'm gonna jump down. This is 1 Timothy 5:17. It says, "Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine."
Right. Like the other video was talking about, right, having your own mind, right, and having discernment, right. You can have your own mind, and you'll learn certain things and having discernment on how to deal with certain issues and whatnot. But you still need guidance.
Yeah.
You still got people in this world they old. You have people in their 50s or 60s, and they'll still seek counsel. They'll still ask for help with certain things. But you got a lot of our people, these young motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, in their 20s and 30s, think they got this know-it-all attitude. Like they ain't got nobody can tell they ass nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot to learn. I mean, knowledge and wisdom is so vast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like the scriptures tell you knowledge shall increase.
That's right.
We living in a time, we know more than our parents, our great grandparents. We know more things than them.
Yeah.
Because knowledge is at our fingertips, man. You can like these smartphones. You can do research. You can look up anything, and knowledge is right there at your fingertips.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But see, the thing is with the elders, the apostles that's in this truth, they labored.
Yep.
They actually labored. They went into different books. They went. I remember the apostles would give testimonies on how they used to have marathon classes.
Yep.
Throughout the week.
Hey, bro, before now we're able to just type in a keyword in the Bible app on our smartphone. Hey, but before the apostles and the elders, they had to go to get big ass volumes of books in the library.
Yep.
They actually had to labor. They had to dig.
Yeah.
So you gotta. That's why they're worthy of double honors. Because they've been laboring, and their works speak for themselves.
Yep.
They've been in it for, hey, bro, me and the brother right here, we barely turned 30. The apostles been out there since before we was born.
Yeah.
How we gonna act like we're above them or that they can't teach us anything?
Right.
Yeah,
30 ain't shit.
It ain't nothing, bro.
I'm talking about for our age. Like,
yeah.
For you be a 30-year-old man, that don't mean a goddamn thing. You had more than that?
No, that was it on that.
Yeah, read that, bro.
I'm gonna start at verse 1.
Yep.
Now, it's 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth.
Right. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. That's why this truth, it could be a good thing to certain people, which is the elect, a certain few, and it could be a bad thing for some others.
Mm-hmm.
This truth could either do two things. It can either humble you or puff you up.
Yeah.
And when a lot of dudes come into this truth, they can memorize 1,000 scriptures. I mean, scriptures is coming off their dome. It's like they freestyling verses out their head. But then when it comes down to actually applying these scriptures, when it comes down to the simplest things, they can't even do the simplest things like be a brother.
Yeah.
They can't do the simplest things like tell the truth. They can't do the simplest things like being charitable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they can quote this scripture. They can quote out the ass. You know what I'm saying? That it ain't about that. It's about it tells you in Ecclesiastes, fear the Most High and keep His commandments.
Yeah.
This is the duty of man. Read that again.
This 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Mm-hmm. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth.
Mm-hmm.
And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing.
Right. So you think you know it all? You don't know a damn thing. Hey, I see that at work. I was at work and shit, and I got the supervisor, and the supervisor, she's not really a supervisor, acting supervisor, but anyway, it's like she's supervising, right? She's telling us, to do certain things, and the things she would tell us, it makes no sense. But she thinks just because she's the supervisor, she knows every fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing that she was asking for, it backfired. it basically, it blew up in her face because she having that know-it-all mentality, thinking she okay, I'm a supervisor, y'all gotta do what I say. And then one of the workers I'm working with, this dude been there for longer than her. She probably been working there before her ass was even born, disregarding what he's saying and shit. And then the shit blows up in her face. So I'm just using that as an example. That's how certain dudes that come into this truth, young individual coming into truth, and they treat the elders like that. Go on.
And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet, as he ought to know.
You know what you ought to know. Period. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, who is the one that woke you up into this truth? The Lord. The Lord sent men to teach you, but the Lord, he opened your mind to this. He opens your eyes to this, to receive it. So the Lord is the one that gives you the portion of faith. He's the one that gives you your portion of faith, the portion of knowledge that you have at the present moment. The Lord is the one that gives you the increase. So what you do know is what you ought to know. It's not for you to get proud. It's not for you to disregard the man that's came before you. It's not for you to be puffed up against your brothers. It's given to you for the purpose of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. His purpose for you. Go ahead, read.
I got Job chapter 12, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
With the ancient is wisdom, and in length of days understanding. With him is wisdom and strength. He hath counsel and understanding.
Woo! Read that from the top again.
It's Job 12 and 12. With the ancient is wisdom, and in length of days understanding.
Woo! It says, with the ancient is wisdom and in length of days. Like the brother mentioned, me and this brother, we barely turned 30. The apostles been out there before we was born, so they've been out there for decades. So they got length of days. They got, they got wisdom. And like the brother read in the other verse, the other book, in the Apocrypha, they learned of their fathers. They learned from their elders. So it's not like they teaching us anything wrong. It's not like they're giving us lies. They teaching it pretty much everything they learned from their elders. It might be a little, they probably got a few more revelations, but it's pretty much the same what they've been taught. They teaching us. Go on.
With him is wisdom and strength. He hath counsel and understanding.
He hath counsel. He can give you counsel. If you find yourself in situations, certain things may be going on in spirit. You might not have that wisdom, that understanding to be able to, to make a decision or a judgment on certain matters. That's when you seek counsel. That's when you go to somebody, that has a little more wisdom to you. That's when you go to somebody that's been around the block a few times, so to speak. That's showing that's being prudent. That's showing wisdom right there.
I got some. That was it on that, right?
Okay.
Kind of got one. You know how you said going to seek counsel. From somebody that, I always said it in length of days is understanding. Because with length of days comes experience.
That's right.
So a man that have been laboring for for years and years and decades, they have experience. They've seen everything, bro. That's why when something happens, you might be like, oh shit, but they're just like, hey, we've seen this already. We've seen this 1,000 times.
Right.
That's why the apostles and the elders, is nothing to them when someone bucks up.
Right.
When someone gets crazy, it's like, they know when it's gonna happen.
Right. Right.
So that's why, like the bro said, you always got to go to someone that been through it, that's seen it, to for when you need guidance.
Right.
For when you need your questions answered.
Right.
It's Proverbs 19 and 20. It says, hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end.
Right. And see, and you ever notice somebody that's been doing a certain skill or trade or a certain thing, they've been doing it for a long time, nothing overwhelms them. They don't panic when shit gets haywire. They don't panic because they've seen it before for many a time. So they know how to adapt to certain things.
Okay.
Now somebody that's fairly new, it's gonna overwhelm them because it's all foreign to them. It's new.
Yeah.
It's a new thing, but to them it's not new. Like the older people. I remember back in the day, the older Jakes would always say, "Man, Jake always used to say, man, ain't nothing new under the sun." You said what y'all got going on right now has been going on forever.
Hey, bro, if you don't mind me saying real quick, you know how you said, Jake used to say stuff like that, sayings. I remember one time, like, I overheard my mom and my grandma talking, and my mom had said something like, basically, she told my grandma something that was like, oh, some big news, some big reveal. Right. And my grandma was like, where you're going to, I'm already coming from. Like, I've been knowing, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, my mom said something like my great grandmother in this case told my mom, I forgot she asked me a question, and my great grandmother told my mother, keep living. You know what I'm saying? Because she was asking like, how you get those grades? Why your hair grades? She just told her keep living. And basically, my mom, she older now. She got grades and shit. So it's just to prove the point, the back the point up. Just like when the brother read that scripture, says, despise not the old man in age, right?
Yeah.
Said, because some of us gonna wax old. You gotta think about it, man. Lord willing, we don't get old on this side. But just imagine you being old. You know what I'm saying? You have a young motherfucker coming to you, all coming out of line at you, man. You wouldn't like that.
All right. Let me grab another quick one real quick. Yeah. There's a Proverbs 12 and 15. It says, Proverbs 12 and 15, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise.
He that hearkeneth to counsel is wise. That made me think of that movie, The Godfather. You had a character in there called Santino. This dude was a fool. He would take no counsel at all, to the point where it cost him his life. Now us in this truth, we on the greater counsel. This is the counsel of Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Yeah. That's
right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you got brothers giving you a counsel on certain things, a situation might go down and you get brought up on counsel. Now this is you might see men talking to you, but really that's the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So when something like that happens, when things like that happen, you have to consider. Like I said, somebody that's a man of counsel would be considerate.
Yeah.
Go on.
Come, bro. Hey, Salak, bro. Let me go back to the other one. I forgot a verse that went where you said. Sure. It's Proverbs 19 and 20. It says, "Hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end." It says, 21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that shall stand.
Yeah. Your counsel ain't shit. You can say, man, I'm gonna set this up. I'm gonna do it like this, like that. And that shit ain't gonna go down nowhere near how you think it in your mind. Because you ain't nobody. You ain't the Heavenly Father. Nigga, you ain't you ain't in control of the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Most High is running this thing, man. You ain't the director, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You just gotta follow this. We gotta stick to the script. We the actors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't come on the set popping shit to the director talking about, man, I ain't doing this, man.
He'll replace you and find another actor. You know?
They cut your ass out of it. Like the Lord, they cut your ass out of the book of life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he ain't part of this.
Yeah.
But I'm joking, but really, it's on a serious note. That's how you gotta think, man. You can't come into this thing sloppy. coming to this thing on the wrong foot. Now, that may happen with certain individuals, and the Lord will humble them, and the Lord will have mercy on them. But for the most part, dudes that take that other route, being like I said, being backbiters, being traitors, high-minded, being disrespectful, those individuals gonna be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
No, that was it. Let me just read it again.
Yeah.
There are many, Proverbs 19 and 21, there are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that shall stand.
Right. There's many devices in a man's heart, a mind. You know how many schemes Jake in the world has?
New one every day.
It's endless.
Swipe story.
Niggas always got a get rich quick scheme. You know what I'm saying? But how many of these niggas getting rich? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, because at the end, because the scriptures tell you it's nothing for the Lord to make a poor man rich. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? But see, the Lord didn't bring us here to be rich in America, to be mirthful here in Babylon. We rich in faith. You know, the Lord gives. We get our daily bread. Ain't saying. Brothers got jobs. Brothers, hey man, the Lord's taking care of us. I'll say it like that. But that don't mean we gonna be up here living it up. You know what I'm saying? Living like Tony Starks from Iron Man and shit. We understand we gonna get all that in the kingdom. So right now comes humility.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
No, that was
I got one more. If you want it.
Yeah, we close it out.
This is Ecclesiasticus 8 and 17. Consult not with a fool, for he cannot keep counsel.
Right. Consult not with a fool. Because what is a fool going to do? A fool is going to do what was according to what's in his own heart. What's wise to him. He going to lean towards his own understanding. That's what a fool going to do. A fool ain't going to seek counsel. It's like when you at a job, right? And you're not sure doing something seems dangerous or unsafe. You'll be a fool to just go ahead and start just doing shit by yourself. That's how people get hurt, because they refuse to seek counsel. They refuse to seek help because they got this macho shit. Oh, I'm grown. I'm a man. I could do this on my own. And then they stupid ass get hurt. Read that again.
Oh, that's Ecclesiasticus 8 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
Consult not with a fool, for he cannot keep counsel.
Yep. A fool can't keep counsel. A fool despises counsel. A fool, a fool. Yeah, they say, what's it say? You ain't gotta get it. I'm paraphrasing. It says the song of fools. What's that? Where is it?
Well, if you want me to get it, I'll get it.
It's escaping me. Yeah, you can get it, then we'll close on that. I believe it says a song. It's better to hear the counsel of the wise than the songs of fools.
I got it right here. It's Ecclesiastes 7 and 5. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools.
Right. So it's better to hear the rebuke of the wise. It's better to be rebuked than to hear the song of fools. And then that's a lot of people in these churches, they singing a song of a fool, thinking they Christians and all this other crap. Anything outside of this truth is a song of a fool. These rappers are songs of fools. Anything outside of Yahweh Shemi Shai, this truth is songs of fools. Any so-called religion, so to speak. So yeah, with that, we're gonna wrap it up. Like I said, hopefully it was edifying to the brothers. It's just for all of us. I'm speaking as a young man. I'm a young man in this thing. It's just these things we gotta be mindful. Even though we are, we brothers is growing, but just because you're growing, don't mean, you don't have that mentality. I'm grown. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody can tell me nothing.
Nobody can't tell me that I'm grown. I'm a grown ass man. That shit ain't gonna get you nowhere, but destruction.
Hey, boy, hey, that's what that one song that all the kids love says. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Right.
That young cowboy faggot.
Little fag.
Right.
You know, so that's the spirit that that's worldly spirit. You know.
Yeah.
So when here, we always watch. We never miss the discourse of the elders. We watch the apostles. We listen to their proverbs, to their instruction, to the understanding that they give us, and we're never gonna stop growing, man.
Right.
So you know.
That's right.
So that spirit of nobody could tell me I know it all. Hey man, people like that, they get rooted and booted out. You know.
That's right.
That's right. So with that, like I said, I hope you brothers was edified. Brothers out there, stay strong. You know, we almost out of here. You know, we just gotta hold fast. You know, hold on tight. You know, just keep, praying to the Lord fast if you have to. You know, do what you gotta do to stay in the spirit. So with that, we're gonna give all glory and praises to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Kakadash.
Double honors to the apostles, and that was a great millstone. Honors and salutations to the hopeful elect, prisoners of word, truth, and sincerity. We want to say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, Michael.
Shalom.